Hello and welcome to Career Spotlight with Vanessa Ajimai. Today, I'm really happy to introduce another guest, Charlotte Omoedo, who is an architectural technologist. So I met Charlotte in secondary school and the rest is history. Hey Charlotte, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm very well. Still in the Christmas feels, but yeah, I'm good.
I'm so excited for her to share her career journey. Thank you so much for agreeing to come and share with the viewers. So let's start from where it all began, secondary school. So while you were studying, did you know what you wanted to do?
So simple answer, no. I
Okay.
didn't know what I wanted to do, but in terms of choosing subjects, I chose them based off like my strengths and weaknesses.
Sure.
So yeah, I had no idea what I wanted to do, but I just based it on what I enjoyed doing and things I had interest in.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember what subjects that you picked for A-levels?
Yes, I did media studies, I did ICT, art and English literature.
Oh, interesting. So that's quite a range. And I guess it kind of reflects the fact that you wasn't exactly sure. Yeah. So that's interesting. And how did you find those subjects? I know it's a while ago, so you're going to have to dig deep now.
Oh, I mean, they were all very different.
Yeah.
They were very different subjects. And I think what was interesting about them is I was able to pick up different skills.
Okay.
I feel like now people would probably, well, back then people would say these are soft skills.
Oh, okay.
But I think now it's stuff that people need. Like you would need to use them in like our everyday, like especially with how the new age technology and everything. I feel like it fits in nicely with what I picked in.
Yeah, sure. So after your A-levels, what did you do next?
I went straight to uni.
Oh, okay.
I went straight to uni and I studied architectural technology.
Oh, interesting. And how was that decision from A-levels deciding to go to uni? Was it an easy choice or did you explore other options at that point in time?
I don't think I explored any other options. It was university or nothing, to be honest. It was university or I didn't think about apprenticeships. I didn't think about working. It was university was the goal.
So I'm just wondering, do you know why that is, especially if you're not too sure at that point what you want to do, or near the latter stages of your A-levels, did you have a better view of where you were going, given that you picked architectural technology?
So what happened was after I picked my subjects, I think halfway through my first year of sixth form, I had a family friend that actually studied architecture.
Oh, okay.
So she basically enlightened me on the subject, and I thought it was a great blend of arts and science, and I thought, okay, yeah, this would be nice.
Okay.
I don't really know many people who go directly into work. So university, was like the next step.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So, and I think you've answered what I was going to ask next, which was the motivation as well to pick that. So pretty much you got insight from a family friend and then you explored. So once she told you about that, did you take just the information that she'd given you and then decide to go do it? Or did you research and look more into what is that all about?
I researched. I had a career advisor at the time, and I remember her saying like, don't like put yourself under one bracket, I guess. So she was like, do some research. There's a lot of things under construction, which I didn't know anyway. And so I searched all these different roles. It's like quantity surveying, structural engineering, so many. So I did all my research on that, and I felt like architectural technology was more suited for myself.
Interesting. And this is the first time through you that I'm hearing about this role, architectural technologist. Yeah, what is it all about?
So, architectural technology, I would say it is the perfect blend of science and architecture.
Okay.
I feel like it's basically, with architecture, it's all about design, which everyone sort of knows.
Yeah.
But there's another part to it where it's like, how do we build it? Like, what goes into it? What materials do we need?
Yeah.
Like, how do we put it together?
Yeah.
Is it going to work? So yeah, that's basically what I answer in my role. It's how do we get this building that looks like this to actually function?
Oh, wow. Okay. So while you were studying, was it a good mixture of the practical and theoretical aspects to prepare you for like the
in
real
university?
World? Yeah.
Yes and no. I feel like it was very theoretical. Practical, I'd say in terms of like model making, maybe using like software technology to sort of, you know, draw the drawings, then yeah, that's practical. But we didn't actually do any, I wouldn't say like outside of university working or no, I didn't do any of that.
Okay, and so with your course, did it include any placements or it was just a straight course at uni?
So I did a straight course.
Okay.
But you can do a sandwich year.
Oh, okay.
But I chose not to. I just decided to do the 3 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And so you've graduated now and you finished.
I have. A long time ago.
Yeah. What were the next steps after that?
The next steps after university was to find a job.
Okay.
Which is very difficult.
Yeah.
Very, very difficult.
Yeah.
And this isn't going to be advice. I would say don't stick to one location, because that's what I did. I wanted to find the best job in London, and it was obviously difficult because it's very competitive, especially in architecture. Mm-hmm. So I decided to move to another city in the UK, which was Reading. And I found a job there, and yeah, that's where my journey actually began, in Reading.
Oh, that's interesting. So at which point in time did you realise that, hold on, I need to be a bit more open-minded, and although that I'm based in London, let me expand the location?
Rejection.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the no's. There was so many no's, it just felt like there was no other option, just try something else. And I think it was probably very brave of me to do. So I had to obviously leave home and go to a whole new city that I didn't know anyone.
Sure. And
start. But I think it was probably the best decision I made.
Sure. So it's kind of like moving from your safe space out into the unknown.
Yeah.
Did you get feedback in terms of why you wasn't, at the time, apart from it being so competitive, like why you wasn't getting the role?
Yeah, so most of it was confidence. Okay. So I think leaving uni, I just going back a little bit, because of the A levels I did. So when I got into my class, I wasn't the most technical minded person, because it was very creative and I feel like everyone had done some sort of construction or something technical prior to coming to uni, and I didn't really have that. So I think in that aspect, sometimes I felt like I lacked a little bit. So in interviews, when I did have questions, I think they saw that. So I think that was one of the reasons why I lacked a bit of confidence in that area. Okay,
and how did you fill that gap then, in terms of upskilling to maybe get that confidence?
I just learned. I had to learn. I spoke to people. I had to learn to understand basically what it was, and basically take the feedback and go back and do research and see how I can, enlighten myself. Sure.
And you mentioned about your A levels and realizing that you wasn't as technical as some others within like your industry or the role that you're within. What kind of A levels or additional ones do you think might have helped build?
So at the time I wasn't aware that they had some people, they do actually have foundation architectural A levels. Or like BTECs. They have engineering. They have like design, something to do with like design skills or something like that. But I didn't do any of that. So I literally went straight into uni with just different A levels, no technical background, nothing.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but from my understanding, you can use A-level subjects with BTEC to still go to uni.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You can mix them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. So if you'd had like a bit more information at the time, you could have probably explored some of those BTEC ones and done it as well.
Yeah. I feel in hindsight, like I probably would have done one of the BTECs.
Yeah.
But because going into when I was choosing, I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yeah,
so
of course.
I just picked what I was good at.
Sure. Okay. So you've got this role now, and so was the title actually architectural technologist?
So this title was actually BIM technician.
Oh, okay.
So BIM is a whole new technology in construction, which is like, I guess, the forefront of, I'd say, technology.
Okay.
It it's the future.
Okay. And can you paint what it looks like?
Yeah, I guess it just helps to collaborate.
Yeah.
So this, like I said, there's different types of roles within construction, sorry. So there's, engineering, there's architecture, there's so many different things. It just helps everyone basically come as one and use like a software, bring all their information and put it together. That's what it is.
Okay, so what would a day in the life of your role look like?
So most of my day-to-day tasks would be using Revit, which is a software that is used to draw buildings, design. So it's like 3D, 2D, and I create floor plans, elevations, sections through those, and I mainly use Revit.
Okay, that's interesting. And what are some of the people that you work with then? Like, what are their roles?
So I work with architects who are qualified architects.
Okay.
So I'm still en route to be qualified, which I'm not yet.
Okay.
So I also work with planners.
Okay.
These people are more before anything is built.
Yeah.
So they work with the council, government as well. I work with engineers, mechanical, electrical, structural engineers, project managers. It's different roles.
Of course. And so you mentioned that you're en route to qualify as an architecture. What can you differentiate the difference between the architectural technologies and the architecture?
So architecture is purely going to uni and studying for 7 years, kind of like medicine.
Oh, okay.
And then you qualify and get chartered. I thought that's probably the most known route.
Oh, okay.
So I think with my role, it's quite new. They're only, I think, 20 years old.
Okay.
Whereas with architecture, I think they're about 70. So you can see like they're quite young. So with architecture, I'd say it's basically going through the whole design to being fully qualified. And then with architectural technology, it's all of that in 3 years. So I'd say it's design, it's technology, it's project management, it's all in one, and that's why I felt like it was more suited for me. But this you only have to do for 3 years. And then you go into work, and then you start to work your way towards chartership. So we have a chartered body which is called SIAT. So the Chartered Institute of Architectural Technologists. And then that's who I'd be registered with once I've qualified. And then for architecture, there's RIBA, which is the Royal Institutes of... It's RIBA again. Well, I can't remember.
But it's called RIBA.
Yeah, RIBA. And then we've got... they've got ARB, and then there's others within engineering as well. We've got like CIOB, IET, so many different ones.
Okay, that's interesting. So then, do you have to continue studying as well as working then in order to get the chartership?
So this is where architecture and architectural technology part. So with architecture, there's 3 parts to it. There's part 1, part 2, and part 3. And you do need to continue studying to get qualified.
Okay.
With architectural technology, it's more so you do the 3 years, you finish, you go to work, and then you start your journey. But it's like you're using your experience at work to fill out like a logbook, and then you get an exam at the end of it. So it's more, I'd say you're studying, but it's not the same as the architecture route.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. So after the role that you were working on, what did you do after that?
After the Reading role,
yeah,
I took a break.
Okay.
Yeah, I took a break from architecture for like 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you want to share your motivations for that?
For taking a break?
Yeah.
I felt a little lost, I'd say. I feel like I came out of uni and I had a vision of what I wanted to do.
Okay.
And I got into a role which I didn't really enjoy. And I felt like I just did it because it was the next thing to do. So I thought the best thing to do to sort of clear my mind and redirect myself was to take a break and see how I could, I guess, realign myself to enjoy what I was doing.
Okay. And also, would you find that perhaps because of the competition and then finally securing the role, you didn't get that opportunity to even assess at the time if it was truly something you wanted rather than you need to kind of grab the opportunity?
Yeah, I feel like, especially in university where there's like, so there's a list of the top 100 firms to work in the UK. Yeah. And out of that 100, there's another 10. And I guess in university, everyone wanted to work in like the top firms. And that was everyone's motivation. It was like, I want to get into the best firm. I want to go straight out of uni and, you know. So I don't think I really had time to think if this is what I really wanted to do. Sure. It was just like, this is what everyone's doing. So I kind of,
Okay. And so what happened after the break?
After the break, I started looking for another role. Okay. This role was architectural technologist role. Okay. And I feel like, and it was also in London. Yeah. So I moved back to London. And
Okay. And something that I'm wondering as well, you said you wanted to realign yourself. What did that process look like?
Realigning myself was doing research and going back to what I enjoyed doing. Okay. So before applying to any role, I was actually looking at the projects they did. The type of clients that they had. Their ethos, their values. Sure. It wasn't just, it's a top firm, I'm gonna apply. Yeah. It was like, do I fit in here? So that's the realignment.
That's interesting. And what type of projects then are you interested in?
So I actually enjoy a lot of different, I guess there's different sectors, but what I'm predominantly working on is residential. So like all the high-rise buildings that you see in the apartments, it's us. It's us.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And how did you find that transition then from your previous role, taking that break, and then the role, is that the role that you're currently in now? Then what you do? Okay, yeah. So how doing that?
So the first role that I had was a very small firm. Okay. It was like 10 people in the whole firm, and I feel like the workload was and because they were an engineering firm, it was very much engineering, and there was a lot to learn there, of course, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't really the design aspect that I wanted. Okay. So transitioning then to the firm that I'm in now was much larger, which has like over 120 people. And they're, doing residential, commercial projects, which was more me. I think it was just fitting in with I guess how big the firm was, and I guess my role changed a lot because it's now not a small team. I'm now working with a wider team, which, you know, has other roles involved.
Yeah. And what systems do you use now as part of your current role?
The software. So we use Revit a lot
as well.
Photoshop, InDesign, CAD.
Okay. And did you have to do any specific training to become like abreast with those systems?
So in uni, they actually teach you to use them. So I learned most of my Revit skills at university.
Yeah.
And then, but some firms don't use Revit.
Okay.
Some firms just use CAD, or some use Rhino or Vectorworks.
Yeah.
But I obviously chose to go with the firm that works with what I could use.
No, sure.
But they do train. Most firms train you.
That's interesting. And what are some of the skills, would you say, that is required within your role?
I would say attention to detail.
Okay.
I would say creativity.
Okay. So two of the core ones are attention to detail and creativity. Can you expand a little bit on that? Why do you need to be able to?
So in terms of attention to detail, because of how you're drawing buildings, and you need to be able to point things out, I guess.
Okay.
There's a lot of regulations. There's a lot of, I guess, things in place to help you design things.
Yeah.
So you need to reference. You need to know a lot of. You need to have that knowledge, I guess, whilst designing. So I'd say attention to detail.
Yeah.
So you understand. And then in terms of creativity, I guess it's architecture. So
sure.
You'd want to show that you've got like a creative side. You're able to think outside the box and solve problems. And,
Yeah. So what would be your advice for others who might have an interest within like architecture or as an architectural technologist and want to get their foot into the role?
I would say to do your research. There's a lot of different roles within architecture and construction as a whole. Speak to people, network, and see what you enjoy. Don't go for the first best thing that you see. Try things out. Try different things out. That's what I'd say.
Okay. What are some of the progression routes available?
So personally for me, in terms of architectural technology, I am thinking to further my studies and do a master's in like design management, some sort of project management.
Okay.
So this would then allow me to I guess project manage different projects that we have.
Okay.
You
made a comment that I want to come back to, which was that people shouldn't take the first thing that is available.
Yes.
But I guess the issue with that is you don't know when the next opportunity is going to be available.
Yes, that is true. However, from experience, I feel like, especially these days, people just want to, go into because of going into it, or I have a job.
Yeah.
And sometimes that makes you more miserable than not having a job.
Yeah.
So I think the right fit is better than any fit.
That's true.
That's what I would say.
Yeah, and I guess if you can survive financially in the time.
I mean, even prior to me finding it, I was working in retail. So I had a retail job whilst I was looking for my career job.
Oh, okay. So there's other options.
Yeah, stay do some. And I'd also say actually, and I know going back to obviously being financially stable, if you can offer your services for free, because a lot of firms, I mean, just try.
So that is available within.
Yes,
your
it is
industry.
available. They can be a bit, but make sure
Still,
you know,
you can reach out.
Yeah, exactly. Like why you're there. Yeah, they'll let you shadow.
Okay, so that's been really interesting to see like your journey so far.
Yeah,
and still so much more to go ahead. Thank you so much for sharing that. Do you have any final words or any other side things that you do that you want to share?
Yeah, I'd say go out there, try your best. And I would also say explore, as in outside of your own country. Like, yeah, like I've looked at opportunities outside. I feel like sometimes we do box ourselves in, because we're just used to, the norm of, staying or comfortability. I would say explore. There's different countries out there. There's different opportunities. There's so many different things that you can go out there to achieve, progress into, and learn. So I'd say that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, and I hope that everyone has learned about this new role of architectural technologist, because it's a mouthful for me and it's completely new. But it's really nice to hear about that role and what it entails. So if anyone's interested, go do your research. Just quickly, is there any specific resources that we can shout out?
Yeah, so I'm part of a network called Paradigm Shift. It basically has loads of professionals within construction, I guess in a community, and they share, I guess, job alerts, different regulations that have, come up. And it's just a nice community to be with people that are within the same, I guess, sector as you. There's also Black female architecture. So as a Black female, I guess, architect, I could say that, architectural professional. It's also nice to have that community because there's not many of us, especially women. So that's another one.
Nice, thank you. So time to review the salary quickly. I've had a look at Glassdoor once again for architectural technologists salaries, and is given an average of around £46,000, and it's given it a start rate of around 32. But I know looking at other companies that it does start lower than this at entry level, and then at an high of 65k. And then if you have a look at Glassdoor once again, you'll be able to view the ranges for each organization that has this role, and then the average base salary. So if you've managed to stay and watch throughout up until now, thank you. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. And make sure that you stay tuned. Once again, that you subscribe to this channel, Career Spotlight. Share so that others can get the information. Comments, any questions or queries that you have. And continue and watch out for the next guest who's going to share their career journey.